And two other stories, fuel scarcity has hit some parts of Lagos State, with long queues of vehicles emerging at various filling stations within the metropolis as motorists queue to buy premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. In the affected parts of the metropolis, some fuel stations are locked, while those which are open have long queues. This has caused gridlock and affected traffic movement. This is coming despite the assurance by Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation over a week ago that the company has sufficient stock of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, to meet the needs of Nigerians. And joining me now to discuss this issue is a public affairs analyst, Yemi Saka. Good to have you join us, Yemi Saka.
It's nice to be here.
So, on one of our programs yesterday, Business Nigeria, we did speak to the zonal coordinator, I think, or zonal chairman of the Southwest, in charge of the IPMAN, which is the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. And he gave two reasons why we're having this scarcity. He talked about the fact that there are bad products. He talked about adulterated products, and he also talked about the fact that 5 of the NNPC depots in the Southwest are not, selling fuel at this moment, if that's the right word to use. Let me just get your thoughts on all of these issues and the reasons he gave.
No, I think the official reports of what we get to hear is the NNPC claimed they imported, I think, 100 million liters of adulterated fuel and got into circulation, and they had to withdraw it, and that's what's causing the scarcity. Bad enough that is happening, but we should ask ourselves questions, and this will take us back to the issue of subsidy on PMS. Have we paid the subsidy on that consignment, or are we yet to pay it? And if we've not paid, are we still going to pay it in the face of bringing bad products to the market? What happens to quality control at the ports of wherever they're taking it from before bringing it to Nigeria? At a point, it was rumored that if subsidy was removed, a liter of PMS would go for at the rate of, like, say, 306 naira per liter. A quick arithmetic from what we have right now, that will give you a differential of 141 naira. 141 naira times 100 million liters, that's 14.1 billion naira. Who is going to bear the responsibility of the 14.1 billion naira? Nigerians have bought the fuel before it was taken out of circulation. Some people have their car damaged. Who is going to compensate them? We should get serious as a nation. We shouldn't be pushing the burden of negligence, inefficiency to Nigerians to keep bearing the burden. It's unfair.
And one wonders, at what point did we find out that this fuel is adulterated? Because it took the marketers themselves to say, oh, this fuel is adulterated. Like you rightly mentioned, what about quality control at the point where the fuel came
from where it was lifted, even to the point to when it got to our shoreline, before it was discharged, and people picked it up from there. What happened to quality control? We should indict NNPC. NNPC cannot be running its affairs like it's a secret society. It should be open to Nigerians, and Nigerians need to scrutinize this thing. We can't keep bearing this burden. It's unfair.
So I think the major issue now for because he was speaking yesterday, the zonal chairman of IPMAN, he was saying that, look, one of the biggest issue now is compensation. We're willing to dispose this fuel, but how do we get compensated? Because until we dispose this fuel, we can't have another one. How do we get compensated for what we have lost? But does this make the case because there are those who are saying for us to start discussing even fuel subsidy in this country, we must have our refineries in place, up and running. Do you think that this then makes the case? Because we have gotten to the point, because we're importing and exporting our own products, we have bad products in the market. Does it make the case for, look, it's time to fix our refineries?
Well, I am going to say this. Dangote refinery, which a lot of people keep banding around as the solution to our national problem, though it's a private venture, I don't think it's going to take Dangote. It has taken Dangote refinery 7 years to build. And we heard it's almost 95 or 80% completed. That means it won't take us 7 years to probably revive or resuscitate our refineries. This government has been in power for almost 7 years. What has happened to our refineries? Now, another question which you probably want to ask as a patriotic Nigerian is there's an allocation for local consumption even when it comes from our daily crude production. What happens to that allocation? Is it that we sell it out as well? The accounting NPC go into such of a battle with any refinery that, okay, fine, we find these products, give us these three major components, maybe the AGO, the diesel, the petrol, aviation fuel, and the other byproducts, quantify it, then let's pay the differential. Whether we like it or not, that will drop the cost of the landing cost of PMS. Then secondly, there was an agreement by this government with Niger Republic that was meant to supply us, I think, 2 million liters of fuel daily. What is the percentage of that away from our daily consumption? These are questions they need to tell us and give us answers to.
And how do you suggest we proceed? There are a lot of long queues. We understand that it started in Abuja actually about 2 weeks ago. We also understand that somewhere in, I think it was Anambra as well, that had the same queues. And we're seeing it now in Lagos, which is in left center of the country. How do you suggest we proceed, just so, before the end of this, we go back to...
For me, I don't know. I think I just advise that. I don't know how they want to discharge it. We can't discharge this thing into the high sea. That's contamination. There might be countries that fuel might be good for what they use in their countries, but Nigerians shouldn't be at the bottom. That's just the bottom line.
It is a burden at the moment when you talk about the long queues. People are supposed to be at work or be their businesses.
We shouldn't blame the burden for somebody incompetence or inefficiency. We didn't do the quality control, the check.
So we're waiting to hear officially from the federal government on this. Thank you so much for talking to us.
You're welcome.
As always, Public Affairs Analyst Yemi Saka.
You're welcome.